So there's a statement of the Coase theorem up here. If bargaining is costless and property rights are clearly established and enforced, then externality problems can be solved by private bargaining. Now, when Ronald Coase wrote this, or wrote a version of what's become known as the Coase theorem, he wrote it back in 1960, I'm pretty sure it was. At least that's when it got published. And a lot of people misunderstood the Coase theorem at first, or misunderstood Coase's paper. They thought what he was saying was, well, we don't need the government. We can solve externality problems on our own. And, at first that might be how you read the Coase theorem. But what Coase's point really was that we don't see private parties solving externality problems on their own. Why not? And what he figured out was it must be that there are some things that stop that from happening. What is it that stops it from happening? Well, it could be one of two things. One, it could be unclear who actually has the right to, in the previous example, a stream, or has the right to a quiet street, or whatever the thing is that's at issue here. It might be unclear who owns that. And if we don't know who owns that, then bargaining can't take place because we don't know who to bargain with. Another problem is it might sometimes be really expensive to come to an agreement. Think about our example of the pollution-producing power plant. Let's say it's up in Cleveland, it's going to emit smoke into the air, and everybody around Cleveland is going to be harmed just a little bit by that. Well, now we've got maybe 1 million people who are going to be harmed by this power plant. In principle, what we would need to have a Coasean solution to this problem is for the power plant owner to negotiate with all 1 million or so of those private citizens. And that's unrealistic to believe that they could achieve an agreement with all of those people at a cost that's lower than the alternative, lower than, say, the cost of implementing a tax program or a cap and trade type program. So we shouldn't rely on the Coase theorem for all but relatively simple externality problems.